Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the channel today. Today we're going to be changing the fuel bowl filter and housing, fuel filter housing on my Yanmar 155D. Here's the new housing I got from Hoy Tractors online. You can check them out for Yanmar parts for old Yanmars. So I can't shut mine off anymore. The on-off lever broke off. It's seized up, that's pretty common. I'm going to crimp the fuel line off with needle nose vice grips to shut the fuel supply off. Take that all apart, we'll put all the new stuff on, and I'll go through the fuel bleeding process to bleed all the fuel, air out of the fuel, and then we'll get it fired up. Get to it. Alright, as you can see, mine's broke. The levers broke off right here. So we'll get this all taken apart for you guys. Get all the new stuff put back on. Fuel hose, supply hose right there. I'll take the needle nose vice grips on here. You don't want these things crazy tight because you can collapse the fuel line and it won't be no good. So it doesn't take much tightening to crimp this fuel off. Mine has a flat screwdriver for these clamps. These look to be original, they're super old looking. Loosen these up. One on either side. And then you got this center nut here that holds it to the block, it looks like. Take that off. We'll loosen it anyways. Yeah, everything was super loose to begin with. Looks like it had a washer between it and the block too that fell out of there, so you might want to pay attention to that. Put that back in behind there when you put the bolt through. I'm actually going to get a drain pan to drain the little fuels in there out. See if we can get these hoses off here. There's one. Oh, see that? That nipple came right out of the freaking carburetor, or the fuel bowl, I mean. Brass nipple. See how tight that fuel line is on there. See that? Came right out of the housing. Good thing we got a new one of these. Okay, so here's the new housing from Hoyt. Looks like their barbs are built right into the housing. The fuel filter slides up in there. Alright, this collar comes off. You put the O-ring on here. Right. This housing is going to go up in there like that, and this collar is going to go back on, and that's what tightens it in there. These only need to be hand tight. Right? So when we put this back together, first thing we're going to do is bleed this. A lot of guys skip that part. We're going to crack this collar loose. Some air should come around here. Once the air is done bubbling out here, we're going to tighten it up. Then we're going to loosen this air bleeder screw. Do the same thing when the air stops and it's just fuel, tighten it back up. Then we're going to do this one. Right, and then there's one more on the pump that we're going to crack and bleed too. So let's get these guys back on here. There we go, good and tight. Another one on. There we go, good and tight again. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try to ensure that that washer goes between the block here. So I'm going to put this bolt through, hang the washer off of it, and put it in the hole. There we go. Just like that, pretty simple, guys. And my fuel bowl was so crappy dark colored you couldn't even look in there and see what was going on. So now I can see if I got water or trash in there. That'll let me know when to change this guy. Alright, you can see there she's buttoned up. I'm going to take and unclip the vice grips. See if we got any fuel leaking. There you go, you can see the fuel bowl's filling up. See the air coming out around the seal there, around the gasket. That's what I said would happen. It's alright, because we need it to fill all the way up. What you have is fuel going in there and it's pushing air out of that collar. You can see it bubbling. Once it's all the way to the top, just fuel, no air, then we can bleed the rest. You can see it's bubbling. It might be hard to see on camera, but there, it just quit and saw fuel coming out. So we can tighten that collar up. Again, it's hand tight on this. There. Looks pretty good. I don't think we have any leaks. So now we're going to come, I'll have to get a Phillips, but we're going to come in here and we're going to loosen that bleeder and bleed that one too. Alright, so we're going to bleed this bleeder first. There we got solid fuel. Tighten that back up. Do the same over here. See, we got solid fuel out of this one. Alright. And there's one more on the injection pump right here. You probably can't see it where you got the camera. Let me turn here. Right there. If you follow your line up, you can see it right there. It goes into the block. Or on the injection pump here. Extension there. There we go, got fuel already. Looks like almost no air at all. I think that's because I filled that bowl so full before I went on down the road. I got most of the air out right at the bowl itself. The lines are already full, so. There, I think we're good. Don't see any leaks. Wipe this thing off real good. Checking for leaks, I'd say be number one, huh? I'm not seeing any leaks. It looks pretty good. Fuel's nice and clean. Let's go ahead and try firing it up. Well, there you have it, guys. The old Yanmar filter housing replacement went good. She runs good. Hopefully do some plowing with it this winter. Thanks, guys. God bless.